Leader's Edge, your path to personal and leadership growth. I'm your host, Steve Steele, alongside my co-host and partner in leadership, Ernie DeCumos. And as certified speakers, coaches, and corporate facilitators, we're dedicated to bringing you powerful principles to fuel your leadership journey and personal growth. And whether you're an entrepreneur just starting out, a new leader taking the reins, or a seasoned pro looking to refine your skills, this show is for you. We'll be diving deep into personal growth strategies to help you strengthen your mindset and leadership abilities. But before we jump in, a huge shout out to all of our amazing listeners. It's a brand new year. We thank you so much for joining us each and every week. We wouldn't be here without your incredible support. Now let's get down to business and help you unlock your full potential. Happy New Year, partner! How are you today?
Happy New Year, partner. I am doing great. And how about you, partner? It's the new year. What's happening? What's new with you?
Oh, my goodness, we got so many things going on this year with the Leader's Edge. So many brand new things are happening. 2024 was a great, great time together. I mean, we had a wonderful year hosting the show, a lot of amazing guests, and we've got so many guests booked out already for this year. It's going to be an amazing year, Ernie. I'm so, so excited. But Ernie, today we're doing something really special. It's different than we've done before that I can recall. So, Ernie, tell us a little bit what's going on today.
Today, a lot of you know this already. It will be Steve and Ernie Unplugged 3.0. And I want you to answer this in your own homes, in your comfort of your house, in your PJs, whatever the case is. But what do we do when we're unplugging?
Good question.
Right. What do we do? Ernie lets her hair down. She sits comfortably. I'm not wearing pajamas, but normally when we unplug, Steve and I teach.
Right. That's
So
exactly
partner,
right.
why do we unplug though?
It's a time, Ernie, when you and I can share with our listeners who we are, what our true values are, and how we share going forth in the teachings that we're able to give our listeners. It's an amazing time for me because it's a time where I can actually just kind of let my hair down, kind of talk to you. We kind of have a conversation together. And today's, I guess, title of the show is really, really cool. It's one of my favorite subjects to talk about.
Yeah. It's actually the number one subject that you
You're
like
right.
to talk about.
It's got a lot to do about neuroscience, and I absolutely love neuroscience, and I love what we're going to be teaching today. So, partner, we're unplugged 3.0. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I am never ready to rock and roll, but yes, let's do this. Okay, so New Year, a lot of people, and I'm sure our listeners are setting out New Year's resolution.
Yes.
Right. I'm sure some of you had said December 31st. Next year, my New Year's resolution is XYZ.
Yeah.
And this is why we are talking about this topic. Can I say it now, partner? Can I say
You can, but Ernie, I have to tell you one thing before you do. To be honest, I'm going to be real honest here. I'm not really into New Year's resolutions. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. I am not into New Year's resolutions as well. And sorry to disappoint everyone. There's a reasoning behind it.
Yes.
New Year's resolutions, and I would love for you to reflect on this. We set out guns blazing at the end of the year and say, I will do this in January 1st, right? And then after 30 days, you fall little by little into those cracks.
Sometimes it's not even 30 days. Sometimes it's like
8 days.
8 days.
We kind of stop doing what we're supposed to do. Why is that? Why do we do that? And I have done it, right, partner? I'm sure you have done it in your lives.
Gosh, yes.
It's just a matter of knowing the process. Why do we do that? And that's because we are not setting the right habits, right? New Year's resolutions is actually required, backed up with habits.
Correct.
Right.
That is correct.
So we don't do New Year's resolutions as just building new habits to help you get to your goal for that year. And how we form effective habits is through this magnificent topic that my partner loves so much, which is dun dun dun. Partner, what's our topic today?
It is the reticular activating system, or the RA, which we've entitled this show "Living in Your Matrix."
Ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. Are we gonna talk about the movie now? Are we gonna talk
Yeah,
about
but yeah. So let me share this with you, okay? So listen closely, okay? This came from, and everybody out there will know the movie because it's a very popular movie. But here's what it is: it says, "This is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes." That's Morpheus from the Matrix. So, partner, I have a question for you.
Yes.
That quote kind of sends us off to the direction we're going to go. We're going to be talking about your mind, your matrix. And when we talk about the RAS, the reticular activating system in your brain, and we're going to define that in a few minutes. When we talk about that, that is the matrix that we're talking about. Okay? That is the matrix. So, question, partner. What do you think about? Now, let me put it this way. Do you ever think about what you think about?
That's like a mind-boggling question. Do you ever think about what you think about? If you asked me this 10 years ago, partner, I do not. I do not ever think about what I think about. That is a lot of words. Think about what I think about.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Today, I think it's the most important things that we do, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about what you have thought of. That's right.
But Ernie, did you know that the average person processes anywhere from 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day?
That's
Of those thoughts that they're processing are negative.
80%.
80% are negative, and 95% were exactly the same thoughts as the day before. Now, when you put those two things together, is it hard to see why so many people stay in the same exact spot in life as it relates to relationships, as it relates to careers, as it relates to finances, fitness, whatever? Because they keep thinking the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Your thoughts are like magnets. They draw you to whatever you think about regularly. That's amazing. I love that.
Yes.
That's amazing to me.
So, okay, thoughts. Let's talk about the brain really quick, since we're going to be talking about neuroscience. I don't know.
Now, first of all, let me put a disclaimer out there. I am not a neuroscience teacher. I don't know a whole lot. I don't know a lot about neuroscience, but just with things that I've read. And
yes.
I want to put that disclaimer out there.
Yes, thank you, partner. I do agree. It's all juggled words for me. If you ask me about neuroscience and the science behind what we're talking about today, which is your mind, the reticular activating system, and the brain itself. But the layman's terms, the easy practical ways to explain it, that's what we will be sharing today. So rest assured that we will not give you words that are that you will be unfamiliar with, but I'm sure we have listeners who are very familiar with this topic. But our mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, uses this powerful quote. I leveraged on it, used it in my day-to-day activities to remind me to stick with what I am building, which is good habits, right? He said that your what you think is what you believe. What you believe, you will act. What you act, you will become.
That's right.
Right.
Man,
So
that's right.
it
That's so
all
right.
starts in what you're thinking.
That's right.
All starts with what you are thinking. This is why, one of the reasons why, right, when we set out New Year's resolutions, it does not get completed.
Yep.
We do not reach the goals because we are not building the habits.
That's right.
It is building habits. It's like dieting. Let's just be honest. I have done this. I'm a woman. When I'm going to a wedding, I'm going on vacation, I would diet for months before that, right? And then all of a sudden, after all those hard work, I will go back to the same weight that I was before and will not be happy with the body. It's the same scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So when we wanted to make a change, we have to also build the habits, but have the right mindset to do it.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
this is the caveat to this, partner. The same part of the body, same reticular activating system, is what we use to actually build the bad habits that we have today.
That's right. And the reason why is because the brain can't differentiate. Is that the right word?
Yeah, does not know what reality.
Yeah, can't say the right word. Does not know what reality. Thank you. You're dealing in whether it's what it is, whether it's a reality that present moment or something you're thinking about in the future. It can't determine that, right? Your brain can't figure that piece out. So your RAS, your reticular activating system, and Ernie, I'm going to ask you to define this in just a second, so that our listeners understand really what the RAS, because it's a real thing in your head. It's real. It's a real thing. Acts as a filter. It creates a filter that you see your world through. Right?
Yes, I agree. So imagine it this way. Some of you may have heard of the law of attraction. Right? The law of attraction is focusing on the positive, focusing on what you really want in your life, and focusing on what is possible. It's actually the science behind it. There is a part in your brain, like what Steve said, that filters the information. Let me give you a perfect example. And I would love for you to test this, the listeners. I would love for you to test this in your own daily activities. Imagine, and our friend, Mr. Neil Magson, will actually utilize this example. He wanted to buy a blue car. Okay. But he wanted to buy a blue car. All of a sudden, that's what his focus is. All of a sudden, he sees all the blue cars on the road.
Right.
All of a sudden, he noticed all of them. But the reason why is because he is focused on that blue car.
Right.
That is his brain filtering the information, saying blue cars, blue cars. Now, were those blue cars existent? Right? Were they there before? Yes. It's just that he never noticed them before.
Yeah, we didn't magically just there they become. They were just there. What happened was the fact they were always there, and because his focus on it, he began to be aware of blue cars everywhere.
Blue cars.
So that stuff is out there. We got to make ourselves aware.
Yes. And all this is things that you, the listeners, already know. We're just trying to remind you because this is a very powerful tool that you can utilize for the new year.
Exactly. Now, Ernie, we got about 1 minute here before our break. Okay. So when we come back, I want you to define what the reticular activating system actually is.
Okay. Well, I guess I have an assignment. we will take a short break. We just kind of gave you a little taste of how brain works and give an example of how reticular activating system is. When we return, I will be defining what reticular activating system is. For now, we will be right back to the Leader's Edge.
Welcome back to The Leader's Edge. I'm Steve Steele with my co-host Ernie DeCumos. And we are on Steve and Ernie Unplugged 3.0, talking about living in your matrix. So Ernie, right before break, I asked you to define what the reticular activating system is. And we've given some kind of indication of it being a filter. So can you tell us a little bit about more of that and what that looks like?
Yes, and it's something that very basic that I know, and I will give a very good example of how it works. So reticular activating system, or RAS, is a bundle of nerves. It's actually part of your brain. So yes, the law of attraction says you have to focus on the positive and you have to focus on the good opportunities. Your brain is the one filtering those information and focusing on those.
That's right.
So I love how Steve Harvey actually explains it, partner. So Steve Harvey said that if you tell yourself today, I don't think I feel good today, right? This is your thought. This is your thinking. There are armies in your brain and in your body that will work hard to make you feel not good today.
Yeah.
That is how reticular activating system works.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, it gives you, the reticular activating system is the filter that really gives you weight to the important things in your life and filters out the things that are not so much, right? So think of the RAS as a filter, as we said before, that reveals to you what most important to you in your particular life. Now, Ed Milet says this, and I love Ed Milet. He says we don't see things in life as they are. We see things in life as we are, right? If we want change, and I mean really authentic change, if you want to make changes in your life, in your habits, and instead of making resolutions, make real solid changes, then you have to change. You must change what you think about. So you have this mental filter called the RAS that can work for you, or Ernie, it can work against you.
Yes.
Right? So that, as you said, there's a bundle of nerves there at the base of our brainstem called the reticular activating system. That's the matrix that we're talking about. That's what we're living in. And so this gives weight to those important things in your life and filters out the things that are not so important. So, and I loved your examples. You said about the blue car with Neil Maxwell.
Yeah.
You know, if you're thinking about that, and you're concentrating on and you're focusing on that. I have a friend that I have breakfast with every single week. He wants a Tesla so bad. He talks about it all the time, about getting a Tesla, I want a Tesla, I want a Tesla. And it is amazing to me when we're out riding together, going to breakfast, 6 o'clock in the morning, how many Teslas we see on the road.
Yes.
I mean, there's one over to the right, there's one over to the left, there's one up ahead of us. And I'm like, where these Teslas come from? The thing is that they've always been there. We just weren't in awareness of them. And that's the same things that's in your life today. The things that you want in your life are there. You just don't make yourself aware to them.
Can I add another example, partner?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, and this is huge. I think it's something that I've used before. Like let's say you wanted to pursue something. You wanted to pursue something, right? And you shared it with a family member whom you value their opinion. And this family member said, well, it will not work out.
Right. Had that happen.
Right. It will not work out for you. The market is already, all used up. There's no room for you in it. And since you value that information, it will stick. Unfortunately, you will focus on it. And guess what's going to happen? Whatever is in your mind, your reticular activating system will focus on it.
That's right.
And then you come back to that family member and they will say, I told you so.
Right.
Because your mind focused on their opinion, right? And you made it your own.
That's right. So here, so let me just ask this broad question. And I think some of our listeners may be asking this thing. So you're telling me that if I focus on the right things that I want, then I can have them.
1000% yes.
That's right. Yes, you can. So my question to you is, why not? What's keeping you from having the things that you want in life? What's keeping you from making the changes? You want to lose weight for this next year? What's keeping you from doing that? Your mindset.
Your mindset.
Your mindset. Your I'm going to tell you, can I be honest with you about something? I reveal this. I'm going to be vulnerable here.
Sure.
So about, I guess, 2 months ago, I put in my mind, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to lose some weight. Ernie, to this day, I've lost 28
28 pounds.
28 pounds. 28 pounds I've lost. And I will tell you, it is simply by eating the right things, doing the right habits, making the right decisions, and putting my reticular activating system focusing on that. So if you focus on that, you will achieve the things you want to achieve. Now, it takes work. You have to continuously do that. You have to put that in your mind. And we're going to give you some tools to do that.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are going to say, well, how do I do that? I mean, come on, I would like to have $1 million. Okay? I'd like to have $1 million too. Now, what is it going to take to get you to $1 million?
Yes.
It's going to take a lot of focus. A lot of things coming into your life that's attracted to you by what you think about, the right people, the right opportunities, the right different things that you need to make that material, no matter what the goal is. Right?
Ooh, partner, I want to share maybe 2 examples.
Yes.
So we have listeners who are leaders, right? How can RAS benefit them? When you focus on the mission and the goal, right? This is your focus, your RAS, right? That's how you will become successful as a leader, right? And I had another example. Goodness gracious, my brain did not retain it.
The other example?
My other example, I totally forgot. Go ahead, partner.
That's all right. But you're absolutely right, though, Ernie. You focus on that particular thing, but it's going to take more than just focus. You're going to have to be intentional.
Yes.
That's what Dr. Maxwell says. That's what he's taught us. You have to be intentional about your life. There are so many people going through life. What is that? What's the quote
growth
that he uses?
Is not accident.
Yeah.
Growth is not an accident. You have to be intentional.
That's right. You have to be intentional about it. And if you're not intentional about the things that you want, then it's not going to stay plugged into your mind, focused in the front part of your mind. And the reticular activating system will only focus in on the things that you put in there. And then remember, it doesn't make a difference between reality or not reality. It focuses on what you put in there. Exactly what it does. Now, there's some keys here, Ernie, and just chime in here that I want to talk about. That are these are strategies or keys to helping you unlock the matrix, to help you really focus in. And I'm only going to talk from experience, guys. I can't talk from a neuroscience. I don't have that ability. I've never studied that. I love what neuroscience says, but I believe that it's very, very real. But all I can do is tell you from experience. One of the first keys, I think, to really locking in to your RAS, to your matrix, the things that you want in life, is through repeated visualization and the thoughts that these specific things teach in your RAS would be hearing and looking for and feeling, because your mind moves toward what you're most familiar with. And if you make yourself very familiar with the things you want, that's where your mind moves.
Yes. So one example. Go ahead, partner.
Yes. Well, I'm just going to say it's repeated visualization. Okay.
Yes. So one example of an old mindset that we have is, oh, I have to see it to believe it.
To believe it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Repeated visualization is you seeing it already.
That's right.
In your mind, and that develops the belief.
That's
right.
That's right.
So if we are going Abraham Hicks type of content today, Abraham Hicks, one of my friends actually reminded me of this, of her teaching. So she talks about, she teaches about vortex. Whatever you put your mind to is already in existence.
Right.
It already exists in a certain vortex.
Yes.
That's why a lot of people use this visualization, right? To get there. Visualization does not mean just seeing it. You have to visualize it to a point where, and you hear the sounds, you know what you look like, you know who you are once you reach that goal. You know how it smells like, you know how everything is, how everything functions. That's a next level visualization. A lot of players, right? One of the things that they do, who is the coach? Philip Haywood. Coach Haywood, right?
I love Coach Haywood. Yep.
Yes, one of the things that he teaches his team is visualize yourself winning.
That's right.
On that game. That's
right.
how effective it is.
That's exactly right. There are professional basketball players, football players that before they go into a game, they visualize every aspect of the game. They imagine themselves catching the touchdown. They imagine themselves moving toward this block or moving toward this direction. They imagine themselves catching a ball. They imagine themselves making the final touchdown. They imagine these things, although they put those things in front of their mind, and those things become true because they put them in the forefront of their mind. They focus on those things. Now, Ernie, do you remember in the movie The Matrix? You remember there's a scene there, and it's going to bring me to my second point here. There's a scene there that was created, and it to the directors, it used a cinematic special effect to create what is known as bullet time. Now, let me explain it to you. So these directors, this was 120 cameras. Now, you remember who the star that was? That was Keanu Reeves, and he was Neo, right? And so there's 120 cameras in 360-degree circle that was taking thousands of shots, and they were stitching those shots together. The results made the viewers feel like they were moving around in slow motion. Now, this had never been done before for this show. If you saw the movie, it was when Neo was dodging the bullets, bullet after bullet after bullet on the rooftop. Remember, on the rooftop? It was bent like way back, and the bullets were just passing by. That was known as bullet time, and they did it with 120 cameras on a 360-degree circle. Now, the question is, how can bullet time work for us? And that brings me to the second key, Ernie. We have to be aware of our circumstances and our environment. Slowing down your intentional pace. You have to be intentional. Remember, we talked about intentionality a minute ago?
Yes.
Slowing down your intentional or internal pace intentionally to make it better. A better way of saying it.
Let me think about that, partner. So are you saying that one perfect example is waking up early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
The night before, we were coherent and we were determined that let me use myself as an example. I was determined to wake up at 4:00 in the morning. And then all of a sudden, 4:00 alarm goes off. And then the first instinct that comes to mind is hit the snooze button.
Right.
But if I slow down.
Yes.
And actually be aware of my environment. So I see that as today, we already do that too. Before you hit the snooze button, right? You've already thought and made decisions as to why you can hit the snooze button. and say, oh, it's just the first day. I'll do it again tomorrow. Or,
Yeah.
oh, I stayed really late like last night. I really need more sleep. So in your mind, again, this is what you're putting in your reticular activating system, right? You're justifying why you can hit the snooze button.
Exactly right. And here's a
But
little, I'm
go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead. No, but I was just going to say, there's a little brain hack here. And
Yes.
Mel Robbins tells the brain hack, and it's called the
Yes.
5 second rule, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, if you want to slow things down, if you want to see, bullet time allows you to go looking for one more amazing opportunity, one more amazing contract, maybe you're looking for, or a business deal, or concentrate on one more to improve losing weight loss, or one more way to improve relationships or marriage. Bullet time helps you do that. And you can slow it down by this little brain hack.
5,
5, 4,
4, 3,
3, 2,
2, 1.
and
What
you're
does
up.
that do, partner?
That slows your thinking down.
Mm-hmm.
That causes you to respond to your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It
And
slows you
more
down.
so, yep, more so, it can also interrupt your thinking, your current
Yes.
thinking. It is
Yes.
what we call a pattern interrupt.
Yes. I love that. You're exactly right. Can you
Yes.
share a little bit more on that?
So basically, and I love this concept because most of the time, and I'm sure some of you will be able to relate, when you are in the zone of thinking and justifying and really putting out reasons out there, you go on a downward spiral. But when you put a pattern interrupt, whatever the case is, or whatever the case it may be, just like Mel Robbins 5 4 3 2 1, it disrupts that thinking and
That's right.
resets your mind
That's
to
right.
refocus on something else. And that is your opportunity to go back,
Yes.
right, to
Yes. I
what
get so
you really
excited about
want
it.
to do.
Yes. Exactly right. It does. And I love the word interrupt your thinking and reset your mind.
Yes.
And that's what bullet time can do. It slows you down. It slows you. It brings you more aware of your circumstances, more aware of your environment. And it
Mm,
slows your thinking, your internal pace. It slows it down and causes you what, Ernie, to be intentional,
yep. Be in the
right?
present, remind
Be in the
yourself of
present
what you
moment.
truly want to do
Yep.
from the downward spiral that you were
That's
on.
right. Now, Ernie, we've got one more key strategy to share, but we're going to do that on the next
Yes,
segment. So,
yes. With that being said, we will have to take a quick break. We will do a quick cliffhanger here. So, we talked about two concepts, that is repeated visualizations. This is how you can actually shift your reticular activating system to your benefit, right?
yes,
So, repeated visualization and be aware of your circumstances and your environment, and that is slowing down your internal phase. When we
that's right.
return, we will share the third tool and we will give you another matrix clip.
Absolutely.
We will be right back
Awesome.
to the leader's edge. Oh, are you counting us down, Jordan?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Leader's Edge. I'm Steve Steele with your co-host Ernie Kumos, and we're on the Steve and Ernie Unplugged 3.0. We're talking about living in your matrix, the RAS reticular activating system. I love this subject, and we talked about two key strategies, Ernie, in this last segment: visualization and being able to be aware of your circumstances and your environment, slowing your internal pace down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a third strategy that we're going to give. Now, I want to a little clip out there again. Okay, so and this is another clip that came from the movie The Matrix. So it's just as important. You must consciously decide what path you want to choose. I mean, you can consciously decide what I'm going to go this direction, like the alarm clock. I'm going to push the snooze button, or I'm going to do a little mind hack 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. It interrupts my thinking, and I get up and I keep moving forward, which is what I would suggest you do. You know, so when Morpheus asked Neo to choose between the pills, okay, he is essentially saying, asking him to choose between fate and free will. Now, John Maxwell says most people accept their lives, they don't lead their lives, right? So if you want to solve more relationships, if you want to have more change, you must give direct thought to the specific outcomes that you want. And here's a third key strategy. Finally, start creating visualizations, as we talked about before, of how you want to ideally want the goal to play out. So you have to set the goal.
Ooh, set the goal. Okay.
Now, sometimes we let self-talk, our mind, our imagination hear conversations. You have to be present with yourself. You have to understand. You have to be very present with yourself, your actions, and the way you feel, and the way you see the details.
I love that. That reminds me of a quote by Ben Franklin. He said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Right? So set the goals. This is why we talk about habits, because as you set that goal, you have to have the right mindset to continue with that goal.
That's correct.
But how does setting a goal look like, partner?
Well, now let's turn the lock in your RAS. Now replay it over and over and over and over again with solid intention. You must put action to these thoughts. That's the only way you're going to achieve the goal. Yes. You've got to put action to it. If you're thinking about it, you're going to put action toward it. You just can't wish your way to success of anything, right? You must intentionally put your mind to work on it. You begin to see it, you begin to hear it, you begin to feel it. And those are the things that always existed. You just never were in your awareness before.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to notice things that you've never noticed before. And that also means you can choose what you don't think about.
I love that. I really
too. You
choose what you don't think about.
That's right. And I think Mel Robbins even gave a little clip about or not a little clip, but a little saying that she said that, you don't have to think about what you're going to think about. You can just think about whatever you want to think about. It's not something that you have to think about. You don't have to do that.
Yeah. One of the things that I love is being able to shift that mind, shift that mindset. When you say, well, and this is something that I did before. It's like, well, I am stupid, right? Focusing on the negative word. But if you focus on it, on what you want to become, who you want to become, I am confident. That kind of changes everything.
That's right.
Focusing on that. So setting the goal of I setting the goal is a very, very broad topic, right? And reticular activating system in it. I would like to also reiterate, when you're setting a goal, make it intentional and specific. When you say, I want to lose weight in 2025, well, make it intentional and specific. What does losing weight look like? If you lost a pound, you already lost weight and you've already reached your goal, right? But what does that look like? And focus on that. One of our faculty teachers in the Maxwell Leadership Certified team said, the goal is not the goal. The goal is for you to become the person living that goal.
That's right.
So when you activate your reticular activating system to focus on the things that you want, right? Mm-hmm. It's more powerful and it's more effective. And let me tell the listeners why. Because you've already used your reticular activating system to this day.
That's right. That's
exactly right. But we were focusing on the things that were not serving us.
Exactly. You are what you are today by the things you've thought about in the past.
Yes. But now, and those things may not have served us in the past, right?
That's right. That's right.
So when you shift that into focusing on the things that you want to see in life and build that habit, how do you think it's going to look like for you by the end of the year?
That's right. But if you're thinking those negative thoughts that crosses your mind, like nothing ever works out, or I always screw up, or no one will ever love me or care about me, you've got to interrupt those thoughts with powerful words. Like Mel Robbins says, I'm not thinking about that. It's not going to think about that. Interrupt that self-talk in your head, because all of us have it. All of us have it. And if we say we don't have it, we're not telling ourselves the truth. We all have that self-talk. So you can actually flip the switch in your RAS, check in and be present with your immediate thoughts. If you're thinking that, you interrupt it, all of a sudden you become present with it. Yes. Right? So our RAS, our matrix, is the greatest tool and magnet success in the entire world. It's a God-given survival tool we all possessed, but rarely utilized to our benefit. We just kind of live it. It's like John said, we just kind of, we don't really lead our life. We just kind of live it. Lead your life. Know what you want. Start thinking about it. Start focusing on those things. If you want to lose weight, then start focusing on how to do that. If you want to have something, any kind of material possession or anything that you really want, start focusing on the job that you want. Start focusing on those things. You're going to pay with it. I'm going to tell you what, Ernie, this is how I feel about it. You're either going to pay for them with regret and doubt, or a feeling of what you could have been. And there's been times I've asked people, do you have any regrets? And I always say, yeah, I should have took more risk. So we got a few minutes here, so let's kind of sum up a little bit of what we've talked about here, Ernie. Do you have any more thoughts on that?
No, I think it kind of summed it up really beautifully.
So we looked at the RAS, what it is, and what it can do for you. It can either benefit you or it can hurt you. Yes. If you don't be focused in the present with it, you're not thinking about being focused on the things that you want, then it can go against you, because your mind's just going to linger and you're going to bring in those thoughts. No matter what you're thinking about, guys, it's going to come to you. Yes. I mean, it's going to come to you. We looked about how you can slow down your mental state using bullet time, bringing the awareness of your circumstances into your environment. And lastly, we talked about how repeated visualization teaches you your matrix, what it should be hearing, what it should be seeing, and what you should be feeling. Pretty crazy. The really cool thing is, Ernie, the really, really cool thing about all of this is everyone has the same ability to choose their reality.
Yes.
You just need to be intentional. Guys, be intentional. I can't tell you, it's brought so many things to my life by intentionality. Be intentional about what you want. Go after it. Change your habit. Go forward. From the time of birth, we were taught to obey other people, follow the rules, and memorize the facts. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't break rules. I'm not saying that we shouldn't,
Yeah, because that would be me.
right. But
Rule
we constantly accept what things other people decide for us. And that's not, and what's best for us. And I'm not saying we should be disobedient. I'm not saying we should break the rules, but I am saying this. This is what I am saying. What if you explore your options more deeply? When it really matters? Ask yourself a different question: is what I believe really true, and am I willing to be wrong? And then lock in that RAS and move forward with it. Your mind is standing by; it's waiting for you.
Yes, you just have to make the change. The key word is not for you not to change, but make the changes.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So practicing those thoughts over and over and over and over again. And Ernie, can I make one more quote from The Matrix?
Yes, I've been waiting for this moment.
Here's a go. So there's the quote. And this is Morpheus said to Neo. He said, I'm trying to free your mind, Neo, but I can only show you the door. You're the one who has to walk through it. Listeners, when you activate your matrix, your RAS, you will start to actually bend the reality that you want in your life and find more opportunities that will reveal themselves to you in ways you would never have ever expected or had seen before. So you got to take the chance.
Yep.
Go after your dreams. Take the risk. You might fail, but what if you fly, Ernie? What if you succeed? What if you do greater than you could have ever imagined? What impact and what change did you make in people's lives? What if the world was different in a better way because of you?
That is so beautiful. Something to reflect on.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Wow. This has been an amazing unplugging for the first Thursday of the year, January 2nd. Partner, thank you for sharing this passion with everyone and with me. And to our listeners, if you have a product, service, or rebranding that you're launching in your company, we would love to help you promote it globally. Please contact our producer, Robert Chiolino, at robert.chiolino, CIOLINO, at voiceamerica.com for more information.
And Ernie, as a sneak peek for next Thursday, we'll be having our amazing friend and author of the book, Character Evolution, Unleash Your Potential, Embrace Your Growth, Transform Your Journey. Adam Holbrook's going to be back. So tune in next Thursday to The Leader's Edge.
Yes, we wanted to say thank you to all of our listeners and friends, because without you, The Leader's Edge would not be possible. We are grateful to have you here and so excited to connect with you next time. But for now, bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.